So this module is all about data types and data structures, the building blocks of any programming language. So what is a data type firstly? So data type defines the kind of data a variable holds. It tells Python what operations can be performed on the data, how much memory to allocate, how to store and retrieve the data. Why do we need data types in the first place? Imagine this, you add two numbers, Python gives you the sum of numbers, but if you try to add two names, the Python combines them as text. That's possible only because Python knows what type of data you are dealing with. What are some common Python data types? So you can say it has integer, float, complex if it's a number, right? So if it's a text, it is a string. We have seen if it's a boolean, it's bool. Like for sequences, it is list, tuple, range. If it is a set type, it's going to be set or a frozen set. And if it's a mapping, it's going to be dict, right? So in today's session, we'll begin with the most widely used sequence of data type, the list. What is a Python list? Let's have a complete guide and let's also have some hands-on examples on this list. Like we have seen, list, whenever there is some sequences that's present, a list is going to be used. A list is an ordered collection of items. So look at this important term, it's an ordered collection of items. If it's a set, it's unordered. If it's a list, this is an ordered collection of items, can store multiple values in a single variable, right? So in our list in Python is ordered, changeable, collection of items. You can think of it like a container that holds multiple values one after another. So in this container, or in other words, in this data type list, you can store strings, you can store numbers, boolean, even other list within a list, nested list. Now, how will you define a list? I'm going to start with giving a variable name. My list is equal to item 1, comma, item 2, item 3. So this is the syntax in which you are going to store, right? So what is this item 1, item 2, item 3? Say for example, I'm going to give fruits. Fruits is apple, banana and cherry, right? So I can store the strings within this variable fruits. So print fruits. You can see apple, banana, cherry. So all these are stored in this variable fruits. Right? So how can I access this list? Accessing this list items. Accessing list items. How will I access this list items? So fruits of 0. The first value, first index that's present within this list is apple. Fruits of 0, apple is displayed. Similarly, if it's fruit of 1, it's going to be banana. And fruit of 2, it's going to be cherry. The most important thing that you should always remember, in Python, the indexing always starts from 0, not 1. Unlike other programming languages, some other programming like R, it uses the index starting from 1. However, in Python, the index always starts from 0. So if at all I have to access this list in the reverse order, right? So fruits minus 1, right? So the interesting thing here is the indexing in list from left to right always starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. However, whenever the indexing from right to left or last to top, bottom to top or right to left, the indexing will start from 1, that's minus 1, minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3, right? So if I'm going to give fruits minus 2, right? So this will be banana, right? So the index from the bottom to top or right to left, it will be a negative index. From left to right, it's going to be a positive index, right? So that's what we are accessing this list item. So how can I slice the list, right? So slicing list. So how can I slice this list? Slice. So the format here is going to be list, start, stop, step. So I'm going to give start, stop and step. So the start here is going to index to begin, right? So from where it should start, the slicing should start. That is inclusive, right? So the stop here up to till what index this should be sliced or to be extracted. This is exclusive. What is inclusive, exclusive? The starting index will be extracted. However, the stopping index value, for example, I'm going to give 5 here. It's going to be 5 minus 1. That is exclusive. And step is how many steps of the index is that you want to extract. Now for that, let's give a simple example. Colors, I'm going to give multiple values here. Red, green, blue, and let's give two more colors, yellow, purple. Now you can look at this carefully. I've given a single code here for red, green, blue, yellow and purple. For purple alone I've given double quotes. Now take a moment, think, pause and reflect. So what will be the reason that I've given in double quote and single quote for other things? Does it even signify anything? Right? So to be honest, there is nothing different in Python between a single quote or a double quote. They both are the same. Right? The only thing is, if you start with a single quote, you should end it with a single quote. If you start with a double quote, you should end it with a double quote. Right? So the way that we define the string, it can either be in a single quote or in a double quote. Right? Now let's print the colors. Right? So colors. Right? So I'm going to give 1, 2, 4. What should it be? The index 1, 2, 3 and 4. Rather, it has printed me only green, blue, yellow, not purple here. So what could be the reason? Right? Like I mentioned, the list has the start, stop and step. What is the start, stop and step? Right? It should, the index value 1 is inclusive, green, blue, yellow. And this purple, this is exclusive. What is exclusive means? 4 minus 1, 3. Right? So the green, blue and yellow, these are alone inclusive and this is exclusive. This is the basic slicing in Python. Right? So how will we omit the start and end? For example, I'm going to give colors and I'm giving :3. The :3 here is red, green and blue. Like I mentioned, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Right? So what does it signify here? This is exclusive. 3 minus 1, 2. Therefore 0, 1 and 2. These three colors are alone shown here. Right? So whenever I give colon, this omits the star. So similarly, colors, square bracket 2 colon. So what does it mean? 0, 1 and 2. So blue, yellow, purple till last, whatever the end of list, whatever it is there, I want it to be displayed. Blue, yellow, purple, everything should be displayed here. The colors, right? So this is what we can omit the start or the end of this list. Now how can we use the step value? How can we have the step? Right? Now, what does the step do? Right? So now you can always ask a question. This start is inclusive, stop is exclusive. Why is that exclusivity? Why is it making something exclusive? Right? Why stop is not included? Right? So what is the reason for that? Right? So ideally, the developers of Python had this in mind. Right? So they want to make the length calculations visible. Right? So 1 to 4. Right? So 1 to 4, 2, 3 and 4. Right? So only 3 should be there. Right? So the start and stop. It means having a consistency with zero-based indexing. So like we have mentioned earlier, Python uses a zero-based indexing. So an exclusive stop here makes it easy to loop or slice ranges without overlapping. We can have the first half or the second half, right? So we can have this first half and the second half. So what does it mean? Let's have a data, right? So the data has values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? So I have a data, right? So what is the first half? First half, the data 0 to 3. The second half is again data 3 to 5, right? So now I could print both this. Print first half and let's also print the second half. Now let's print it. So the first half here is 10, 20 and 30. The second half here is 40 and 30. So even though I've given 0 to 3 and 3 to 5, you can see how wisely it has taken, right? So ideally when I say 0 to 3, 3 should be there. 0, 1 and 2. When I say 3 to 5, right, till the last 3 and 4 should be there, right? So that's the ideology. Till the last whatever it is there, it should be printing, right? So it makes it easy to loop or slice ranges without overlapping, right? So and say for example another reason, right? So I'm going to say for I in range 2, 5. right? So if I give print I, only 2, 3 and 4 will be printed. So the list slicing is designed to align with range function, right? So which also uses this exclusive end values so that it has a consistent logic within it, right? So that's the important thing, right? So all in all, to summarize it, it keeps the code clean and consistent, right? So this makes the length predictable. It aligns with the Python's range function, right? This supports the zero length slices without any error, and this makes this list splitting much more easier. That's the reason that we have the exclusivity at the end. Now let's continue with the step function. So what is the step function? Let's have numbers. Numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. What are the numbers? Now let's print numbers : 2, right? So what is this : 2? So we spoke about start, stop and step, right? So start, stop and step. So I can add, right? So I want to step one value here. I want to leave one value. So therefore 1, 3, 5, 7. Leave out the other value. So one value is counted. Leave the second value in this list, right? So 1, leave the 2, 3 is taken and leave the second value. 5 is considered, 6 is left, 7 and 8 is left, right? So this is what using in step value means. Now let's also print numbers 1, 2. So what does it mean? Right? So for starting from the index value 1, instead of starting it from the index value 0, start it from the index value 1. Therefore this is 0 and this is 1, index value 1. So 2, 4, 6 and 8. So starting from index value 1, use the step function 2 and then you print those values. How should I have to reverse this entire list? To reverse it, I'll use print numbers : -1, right? So the entire list is reversed here, right? So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the entire list can be reversed here using this -1, right? In the step function placeholder, if I given -1, the entire list is reversed, right? So that's the beauty here. I can also slice this the list with a negative integers. So what is this negative integer values, negative indices? Let's take this numbers, right? So square bracket -4 : -1. So what does it mean? I had this value 5, 6 and 7, right? So minus where is this is -1, -2, -3 and -4. So -4 to 1, therefore 5, 6 and 7. This becomes exclusive. Exclusive means you take that number, you add -1 to it. So I have -1, therefore -1 is -2. Therefore 5, 6 and 7. So these values are printed here, -4 to -1. So I'm slicing with the negative indices. Starts from the fourth from the end and stops 1 before the last, right? So that's what -1 is -2. Therefore the -2 index is 7. Therefore 5, 6 and 7 is present here, right? So and yeah, now how will I modify in subsection? How will I modify subsection within this list? So I take this numbers, I'm giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I'm going to take this numbers 2 to 5. So within this 2 to 5, I'm going to add values 20, 30 and 40 and let's print numbers. Now you can see in the placeholder 2 to 5. So what is this 2? Index value 2, 0, 1 and 2. In this 2, 20 is replaced, 3, 30 is replaced and this 4, 40 is replaced and 5 and 6 is printed as is, right? So that's how we can replace it. Now if I want to delete a list, I'm going to put delete numbers, right? So I can give delete numbers, and if I'm going to use this numbers, it will throw an error that name nums is not defined, right? So by this we have seen an overall structure about list. In forthcoming session, let's discuss about tuples and few other data. Thank you.